Hello everyone! This is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome one and all to this newest edition of the Running on Empty Food Review series. I'm your host, the Report of the Week. Thanks for checking in. You know the phrase, because it's a pretty common one, the moment we've all been waiting for, right? And you always have to throw in the right at the end. This is one of those moments. I mean, all of us have been waiting for this, and now we can collectively breathe a sigh of relief and say, yeah, that moment, it is here. Arby's has brought back the Diablo Sandwich. When I think of Halloween, this is the only thing that really comes to mind at this point. Arby's Diablo Sandwich. That's right. It is back. It has returned. Let's just get right into things. How about it? I tried out the Arby's Diablo Sandwich earlier in the year, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. It was pretty spicy. This is one of those items, and I feel like this has been a trend lately. I feel like a lot of items that I've reviewed as of late have been on the spicier side, or at least have been trying to emphasize spice, because I know I did the Halloween Whopper from Burger King. What was the other thing that I tried out? It was from Shake Shack, I think, the Hot Ones burger, and there might have been another spicy item too. So there's lots of various spicy items that are being released, and Arby's, they said, well, we gotta get in on the action. So indeed they did. Now again, I first tried this out, I think it was around New Year, and at the time it was called the Diablo Dare Sandwich, and it was a limited time item, so it was on the menu for a little bit, then they took it off. Now it's back, though they did make a few changes, so I always like trying these sorts of things out to discern, number one, are they maintaining the standards? Because I enjoyed it the first time around. I thought it was pretty good, pretty spicy. So, is it as good as it used to be? That's what I want to find out. Secondly, it's not identical to how it was earlier in the year. So, I want to just see what changed, and is it changed for the better, for the worse, is it about the same, etc. It's named the Diablo Sandwich, so I guess they took Dare out of the name. And you can get it with either crispy chicken or roast beef. This time around, I decided to go with crispy chicken. So that's what I have on this sandwich. Now, regardless of what topping you go with, here's what's guaranteed to be on it. Cheddar cheese, fiery seasoning, roasted jalapenos, lettuce, Diablo barbecue sauce. It's on a red Chipotle bun, and it comes with a complimentary small vanilla milkshake. Price for this, $6.79 just for the sandwich. So, for the sandwich itself, close to $7, but it's the Diablo Sandwich. So that makes the price 100% justifiable. As a matter of fact, I think it's a steal, quite frankly. When it's got Diablo in the name, I mean, this should be $20 at a minimum. So, here's the box. What does it say here? Chicken. With a QR code. Arby's dares you to take the Diablo Dare. It says, head to TikTok, eat on camera, try not to sip the shake. Chicken. Now, two things about that. Number one, I don't know if they're trying to say chicken. I'd probably a play on words because it is a chicken sandwich. But they're also saying, you're too chicken to actually do it, right? You're not gonna do the Diablo Dare, are you? But firstly, I do have a little bit of chicken DNA in me, so I don't have a problem with that. Secondly, I think if and you could pause the video and look this up in the dictionary right now, If you look up rebellious rapscallion in the dictionary, you will see my picture there. Because you know that I am a rebel to the bone. I mean, I am as rebellious as it gets. I am a rebel at heart. So, they told me to go to TikTok. Well, I'm going to do it here on YouTube instead. And they could just deal with it, quite frankly. Try not to sip the shake. Now, I do have the shake right here, with the A for a shake. It's a vanilla shake right there. Complimentary. Comes with, I mean, you could kind of say, yeah, maybe it's tacked onto the price, etc. But let's open this up. Let's take a look and, sure, why not? Because the box told me to do it. I guess then I'll heed its advice, and I won't have the shake for a little bit. Let's see. We'll see how hot it actually is. All right. There's a close-up view of it. Look at the bun. It's redder than I thought it would be. There's the sauce, the cheese, the chicken, the little jalapenos there. Looks like it has everything that they said it's supposed to have. And yeah, there's the sauce and some of, again, the jalapeno. And like I said, the cheese, the chicken, lettuce, the bun, etc. And I think I mentioned it, but one thing different about this one is... Actually, no, I did mention everything. Never mind that. I thought there was one other thing that I needed to mention, but there wasn't. So, that said, you know what's on it, I know what's on it, we all know what's on it. Let's see how spicy this is. The Diablo Chicken Sandwich from Arby's, the late 2022 edition, going in. It is spicy. As a matter of fact, while I can maintain my composure, it did make my eyes water a little bit. Isn't that something? Take a look. Maybe you could see them. If they look a little watery, that's because they are. You could pretend I'm having like a breakdown or something on camera. I mean, I really don't care. You can go for it. But it's interesting. The physical reaction that I notice from this is my eyes watering. My mouth is quite... This is spicier, I would say, than the Burger King Halloween Whopper. But not incredibly so. So it's fascinating to me, just personally, that I notice this much stronger physical reaction to the spice than what I noticed with the Burger King Halloween Whopper, which is very interesting to me. Spice-wise, like I mentioned, and I would be willing to bet that the physical reaction to this spice would be more limited if I just sipped on the shake. But the box told me not to, and you know what they say, you have to obey the Arby's box. So that's what it comes down to. That's just the nature of the beast. I don't know if I'm properly focused or not. There we go. So, the spice on this, here's what I notice. Very intense spice, but it is short-lived. That's what I would say. Already, I could say that the spice level, as far as I'm concerned, has peaked about maybe 30 seconds ago, maybe a minute ago, and it now is on a rapid downward trajectory. So, I will compare this to the Ghost Pepper Whopper, since that was the last thing I reviewed. Maybe the review is fresh in your mind. If not, you can check it out. Since, again, last video that I did. The spice on this hits you immediately. It hits you... I mentioned with the Ghost Pepper Whopper that the spice on that kind of hits you at the front of your mouth. This actually hits you even before that. The minute, or the second I should say, your lips come in contact with the sauce. And that's what it all is. It's the sauce that is this spicy. Not necessarily the bun, not necessarily the jalapeno, the fried little jalapeno chunks. I don't think they're fried, just a jalapeno chunks. But it is the sauce that has that punch. Now, the sauce itself is like a little bit of a sweet barbecue sauce at first, but the second it comes in contact with your lips, immediately you feel the heat on contact. And that's why when my eyes were a little watery, I was kind of fiddling around with the cloth, because last thing I wanted to do was get any of that sauce in my eye, because I knew if that happened, then if you want to talk about misery, that would be it right there. So I just wanted to make sure that did not happen. So the spice hits you strong, and you'll notice it in your lips first. Then, of course, as you eat it, you'll notice it on the front of your tongue, and then toward the center and back of your tongue as well. But here's the interesting thing. The spice does not linger as an aftertaste, as was the case with the Burger King Halloween Whopper. So, spice-wise, it hits you hard. It seems to cause a physical reaction, and like I said, in my case, I could maintain my composure. I could get the thoughts out, right? I could sit here without sipping on that milkshake, but it still results in a physical reaction. Runny nose, watery eyes, etc. But it's not necessarily the strongest spice I've ever had before. There were some wings I had years ago from Planet Wings that were way stronger. But like I said, short-lived, strong, will kind of cause that reaction. So, I mean, if you want to, like I said, it's a little challenge. It's something to do for the social media. Then, within a few minutes, within like 2 minutes or so, spice level fades, and it's something that just hits you direct. It hits you hard, but it doesn't last for a while. It is not one of those spices that then, kind of seeps down the back of your throat, and it's kind of coming back up as a spicy aftertaste or any of that. You don't notice that at all. So you'll just notice it first on the lips, then front of your mouth. It'll hit you hard for a bit. You'll probably have a little bit of a runny nose. Your eyes might water a little bit, as they did in my case. And then it'll peak quickly and then rapidly drop off, which is exactly what I can describe in my case. Most people would probably want to have that milkshake at hand. Like I said, look, they even throw the thing in for free, so, I mean, why not, right? May as well sip away at it. And otherwise, taste-wise, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but this is one of those items where it's a novelty, and really you're just going to be focused on the sauce, the spice thereof, and you're going to sit there and you're going to be thinking, oh my god, my eyes are watery, get the picture, whatever you want to do. It's one of those novelties. Maybe get it with your friends, see who can go the longest without sipping away at the milkshake or something like that. It's not necessarily something that you're going to say, Oh yeah, I get this for the cheese, right? It's not going to be that way. There's plenty of other sandwiches you can get from Arby's if you just want to enjoy the ingredients, enjoy the food, etc. This is just something to get for the novelty, for the spice, for the social media, etc. So please bear that in mind. But quality-wise of everything else, it's all fine. Chicken itself, it does have a noticeable crisp to it. When I took that first bite, that's what I noticed first, and I noticed the sweetness that the sauce does possess, because it does possess a little bit of like a barbecue sweetness, but everything then immediately gets overridden by the spice of that sauce. But otherwise, everything else seems to be on par quality wise. Can't really talk too much about the quality of the chicken itself, though it seems to be totally fine. Like I said, little on the crispy side. Lettuce is just there. The bun, I'm sure it contributes to the spice a little bit, as does the jalapeno, but both of those things, consider them more or less a decorative garnish, because the vast majority of the heat is going to be in that sauce. $7 sandwich, pretty much, but it's a novelty, and it is as spicy as they probably would portray it to be. Now, that said, they were very generous on the amount of sauce that was applied to my sandwich, and that probably does make a difference. If you get your sandwich and it doesn't have a lot of sauce on it, maybe it might not be as spicy. So the sauce is definitely going to be that key component as to how spicy this is. So when you get yours, if yours looks heavy on the sauce, then kind of brace yourself, because you're going to feel it. Now, on one final note, since I've given my assessment for the most part just for the fun of it, because I thought, well, why not? I've got this milkshake sitting here. What I'll do is I'll take another bite, and then I will chase it down immediately with the milkshake, and I just want to see what sort of difference it makes in terms of feeling the spice. So let's take another bite. Let's go for it. And then that's it for me, I think. So let's try it out. Another bite. All right, the spice is coming back. So now let's take a milkshake sip and see what happens. I can still feel the spice, but it definitely minimizes it a bit. It definitely, you're still going to be, like I said, I still feel it right now, but there really isn't any sort of physical reaction to it, like there was without the milkshake. So, the cooling properties of it, both physically, of course, and of course, a lot of people say if you have something spicy, always go with milk, not the water. Definitely does help offset the spice. So, like I said, that milkshake, it's free, it's complimentary. May as well utilize it if you'd like. But bear in mind, if you're sensitive to spice, just understand that you might really feel it with this one. Otherwise, if you want to give it a shot, now you know what you're in for, and that milkshake, it'll be there for you throughout this all, so don't hesitate to use it. All right. On a final note, factoring everything in, I do think it's overpriced, but it's a novelty. It's exactly what they say it is. I think it was actually spicier this time than it was the last time. If you've seen enough of these reviews, you know that there aren't too many very spicy foods that actually cause my eyes to water and my nose to run, etc. So that's definitely something to take into account. So I think it's everything that they said it would be, even slightly spicier than it was earlier in the year. So factoring everything in, despite the price, I'm happy with it, I'm satisfied with it, and if this is something that appeals to you, I think you will be as well. So I am going to give the Diablo chicken sandwich from Arby's an 8.5 out of 10. Tastes good generally, nice and spicy. It's pretty much exactly what they hoped for it to be. So I think they met expectations. and slightly exceeded them as well. That's all that I have for you today. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm your host, The Report of the Week.